Right. Captain's log 10162021. Should I do it with these on? Captain's log 10162021. Man, I really haven't done one of these in a minute. But I wanted to talk today about something important. Knowledge. It's interesting when you see yourself entering a new chapter. And, you've still got a long way to go. And you've already been X amount of distance or chapters. But it's interesting to see yourself actively walking into a new chapter and knowing that your choices in the future are dependent on what you do right now, what choices you make right now. It's not easy making a choice. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just not easy. Sometimes we don't even know that we're making these choices, and it just flows by us. What's important? Overeating. It's a choice. Every day we have to make thousands of choices. Probably millions. Our brain makes a lot of that for us. We have control over some that we make throughout the day. Usually quite a few. But a lot of those we don't even remember. And that's because our brains are like deletion devices primarily. The amount of things that we delete on the fly throughout the day that we see in our peripheral vision constantly, there's no way to even monitor that to keep track of it. It's only until pattern recognition starts to kick in and you start let's say you were talking about golden retriever dogs recently with someone, and then all of a sudden you start seeing golden retriever dogs show up everywhere. That's pattern recognition. So I digress, but our brains make a lot of decisions all the time. Keep or delete, keep or delete. We're constantly making choices. Constantly. Our subconscious is making choices. Our conscious is making choices. We are making choices all the time. The ones that we remain aware of are less. But those are the ones that are important. Those are the ones that are worth keeping in the data banks in our minds. Those are the choices that are important, not the rest. The thing is that we don't get to choose actively. No, that's not right. We don't get to choose subconsciously what is important and what is not in regards to a choice. However, every choice that we consciously make is important. And a lot of times when you make a lot of bad choices back to back to back to back to back, your brain starts to register that as a pattern. And when you keep repeating that pattern back to back to back to back to back, your brain doesn't consider that important. So you forget those decisions. Those decisions are natural decisions to you at this point. You've made them all the time. You make them all the time during the day. You make them all the time yesterday. You made them all the time last week. Why wouldn't you make them all the time today? But that's what makes them so important. Those decisions, those choices. Perhaps that's a series of bad habits that you've been repeating over and over and over and over and over again. And you want to break out of that bad habit. Perhaps it's eating the wrong foods. Perhaps it's starting to work out instead of being lazy. Perhaps it's watching less porn. Perhaps it's a series of things that you're doing to yourself. Perhaps it's watching too many videos late at night. Perhaps it's eating too much food late at night. Perhaps it's not going walking enough. Perhaps it's making excuses for things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. Perhaps it's just not simply going to bed at the right time at night so that you can get a full night's sleep and feel good and get up early in the morning. But you're always making excuses. The important decisions are the decisions that can combat those bad patterns. Those bad patterns that your body is used to receiving. That they no longer question if they're important or not. So you make them consciously throughout the day, but then forget because it's normal. It's not a choice that you think you're going to remember. It's worth remembering. It's a choice that you made that gets ignored after it's done. Those are the important choices. And I mean, there's bigger choices. Of course. Should I kill a man? Should I not kill a man? Pretty important. Should I drive into the wrong side of traffic? Or should I stay in my own lane? It's pretty important. Should I stick my fingers into the fan? Or not? Pretty important. Do I snort this whole line of flour or do I make cookies? It's pretty important. So there's important decisions that we make all the time. But I'm not talking about those big important decisions. I'm talking about an important decision to combat the negative qualities in yourself that you don't like anymore. That you realize, that you actively, knowingly realize are there. And here I stand, walking into a new chapter of my life. Actively seeing it. And I sit at a crossroads where I now ask myself, what habits, what patterns do I have? And what patterns and habits do I want to still have in this next chapter? You can think of it like a video game. You only get to keep so many. You got to say goodbye to the rest. All good things come to an end, and all bad things will also come to an end. Nothing lasts forever, and you can't keep everything. And that's kind of a good thing too, at least in this case. So you're in a position where you can see what's negative, what's positive, and make a choice about what you want to take in the future. I have that choice now. Now I walk into a new future, to a new path, to a new chapter. I still got a lot to figure out. Still got a lot to decide. Making important decisions is a good thing. We gotta get good at it. We gotta get better at it. Getting better at it leads us to better places. And if we can get better at making the important decisions, and I'm not talking about snorting a line of flour or making cookies, because that's a very, very important decision, but that's above this. This is the normal day important decisions. Do I keep these negative qualities in my life? Whether it be people, activities, actions, habits, or do I remove them from the equation? Do I move forward without them and make a conscious choice? That is something I should delete out of my brain in the future when I see it, because I've moved past it. We are the captains of our own ship. Right here. Make those choices. Command your ship. Captain's log out.
I'll get you then.